Long before heroes became legends, a child was born into danger. Jason was the rightful heir to the throne of Colchis, but his uncle, Peleus, seized power and would stop at nothing to keep it. Fearing for the boy's life, Jason's mother sent him away in secret. He was raised far from the palace by the wise centaur Chiron, who trained him in combat, wisdom, and survival. Years later, Jason returned, not as a boy, but as a warrior. On his journey back, he helped an old woman cross a raging river. In doing so, he lost one sandal. That woman was no ordinary mortal. It was the goddess Hera in disguise, testing his kindness. Because of this act, she chose to support him. When Jason finally entered the court of Peleus, the king froze in fear. A prophecy had warned him, beware the man with one sandal. Trying to avoid killing Jason outright, Peleus devised a deadly plan. He promised to give up the throne if Jason could retrieve the legendary Golden Fleece from a distant, dangerous land called Colchis. It was a mission no man had ever survived. Jason accepted. To face the impossible, he gathered the greatest heroes of Greece, including Heracles and the musician Orpheus. Together, they sailed on the ship Argo, becoming known as the Argonauts. Their journey was filled with danger. They battled savage kings, outwitted deadly traps, and faced the crushing terror of the clashing rocks, giant stones that smashed anything passing between them. Through courage and cleverness, Jason led his crew forward. At last, they reached Colchis. There, King Ates agreed to give Jason the Golden Fleece, but only if he completed impossible trials. Jason had to tame fire-breathing bulls, plow a cursed field, and defeat an army of warriors born from dragon's teeth. Jason would have died if not for one person. The king's daughter, Medea, fell deeply in love with him. Using her powerful magic, she helped Jason survive every trial. In return, Jason promised to take her with him, but one final horror remained. The Golden Fleece was guarded by a sleepless dragon. Using her magic, Medea put the beast into a deep slumber. Jason seized the fleece, and together they fled Colchis. But their escape turned dark. To slow her father's pursuit, Medea committed a terrible act. She killed her own brother and scattered his remains across the sea. As Ates stopped to gather the pieces, Jason and Medea escaped. They returned to Colchis victorious, but Peleus refused to give up the throne, so Medea used deception. She convinced Peleus' own daughters that they could restore his youth by cutting him apart and boiling him. They did as she said, but this time, no magic saved him. Peleus died, and Jason's revenge was complete. Yet victory did not bring peace. Jason and Medea were forced into exile. They fled to Corinth, where they lived for years. But as time passed, Jason changed. Seeking power once more, he abandoned Medea and chose to marry a princess. It was the greatest mistake of his life. Medea's love turned into fury. In one of the darkest acts in all mythology, she destroyed everything Jason held dear, taking revenge in a way that left him broken forever. Jason, once a hero who commanded legends, lost everything: his family, his honor, his future. In the end, his fate was quiet and tragic. He returned to the rotting remains of his ship, the Argo, the symbol of his former glory. As he sat beneath it, remembering the days when he was a hero, a piece of the ship broke loose and fell, and there, beneath the shadow of his greatest achievement, Jason died, forgotten by the world he once conquered.